Well, you've all now met the new guy, right? He's doing a great job. A lot of new faces around here with the program this year, with our support staff, which is so important to who we are. Also some old faces that were supposed to be gone, and Kevin Wagner, but I'm still getting emails from him that he's coming back. But I know Dave and Chibi are glad to have him around still, we all are. But we're thankful for all of our people that make our program work. Without question, we are who we are because of these people that love our sport and love LSU. This year's team, I wore this because it's the year of the Tiger, right? So for us and Joe Burrow, let's hope it's the right year for a lot of championships. But this year's team, I think, has worked really hard. We've had a really solid preseason. We've had to deal with a lot of cold and adversity, but we truly haven't missed one day. I'm knocking on this, one day on the field. So we've had a lot of good prep, a lot of work, and this team has worked really hard to be ready for the season. I think the tell of last season is really the strength of schedule. I think the way these guys attacked this historic level strength of schedule, finishing number one and at a mathematical number that's higher than any strength of schedule we've ever played here at LSU, and we've played some good ones. But I think, that was really the tell of last year. So as these guys take the field this season, there's nothing they won't be prepared for. They have seen all of it. We lose in production Aaliyah Andrews and Amanda Doyle. We lost the leadership of Beth Gorsuch, Akaya Times, but I think we have a lot of pieces in place. Obviously, we don't replace some of these people. We don't replace Aaliyah Andrews, but we have a great center fielder in Sierra Briggs that's going to do it her own way. And in a few years, you're all going to ask me how we replace Sierra Briggs too. So I think we're not trying to replace these guys. We're trying to be ourselves and do it our own way. Every team has their own personality, and I know you'll see a lot of personality from this group as well. As we're leading into 2022, another schedule that we're really proud of, 23 games against preseason top 25 teams. So again, we will be tested. We'll be tested early. The first weekend boasts a really tough schedule: South Alabama, Illinois, Central Arkansas, and then we go to Clearwater where we get top 10s in Oklahoma State, Washington, Michigan in the top 15. So we'll see right off the bat if the work that we've done this preseason will have us ready to go. Returning a really strong group of not just athletes but leaders, and you have 4 of them with you today. There's some others, but Shelby Sinceri and Taylor Pleasance, the All-Americans on the team, who they don't just lead us with their talent, they lead us constantly with their voices, with the choices they make both on and off the field. We're really proud of them. And then Allie Kilponen put together such a strong season last year. I'm excited to see what she'll do. I think her fall was even stronger than the spring that she put together. And Georgia Clark will, help lead this offense again. And I think some of the biggest changes you'll see will be in her defense as well and how she leads us on the field. So I think we have a really strong core group that I trust. I love how they play. I love how they lead us. I think they represent Tigers and all that they do, and that's our core value is to try to be Tigers for life, and these guys represent it in everything that they do. We added 6 freshmen to the group. We're excited. You will see some of them the opening weekend. I think you will see a couple of them all season long. Bailey Brandon, Mackenzie Rudity are the 2 players that are going to bring a lot to the offense. I think you'll see really big power numbers from them. They both are in the outfield. You'll see Sydney Peterson in the infield. She's an incredible defensive player. You're going to be excited watching the defensive plays that she makes. And then Raylan Chafin on the mound. She's from Shreveport, so I know all of the Louisiana folks will enjoy watching her. She's a great competitor. I know our team already likes playing behind her and what she brings to us. Also some speed with Maddie Gilio and KK Madry. We'll add them to the group as well. We had a really fun off season. We had 4 players at the national team tryout where Taylor Pleasance made the national team. Coach Dobson got a silver medal this summer. Ray Chafin got a gold medal in the WBSC. So these guys have not just been hanging out, sitting around. They've been making some noise in the softball world and in the softball community. So we're proud of this team and everything they're accomplishing right here at LSU and everything they've accomplished this off season as well. So we'll kick off a week from today, 3 o'clock, South Alabama, 5:30 Illinois, right here at Tiger Park, and we'll be as ready as we can be. We talk all the time. We don't have to be perfect. We can play our best softball in May, but we need to be better than South Alabama next Friday at 3 p.m., and that's what we'll try to do. So with that, I will turn it over to you guys.
Beth, you mentioned Allie Kilponen's development last year. What does the rest of the staff look like, and how do you have an idea how you're going to use them, and is that going to develop as the season goes?
I'm still not going to tell you who's pitching. I'm not. Mostly because I have no idea, because our staff is that strong that it's always a game time decision. You know, I'm walking down the stairs sometimes to come out to the game still trying to decide because we have so many good options. But we talked about Allie. Shelby Sinceri is throwing as well as I've ever seen her too. She's in an incredible spot, just both offensively and on the mound. And then we really like what we've seen from Wickersham. The ball's moving a lot for her right now, so we'll hope she can hang on to that. Ray Chafin. We also have Morgan Smith, Taylor Edwards, Emily Casanova. I think you will see some from these guys too. I think this opening weekend you'll see several different starters. You'll definitely see Ray Chafin as a starter, so you'll see several different starters this first weekend, and we'll kind of go from there as we make some decisions.
And you mentioned Sierra Briggs in center field. Who's going to take Amanda's spot at third base?
Right now we have Danica Coffey and Jordan Perkins working out at third base. So Danica made the move from the middle infield over to third base, and she's done really well. She's got a lot of speed, so she makes a big difference for us on the bunts and stuff in front of her. And Jordan has just done so much. She's in her 4th year with us, and it's been really big off the bench as a pinch hitter, and she's competing at the spot as well. So showing a lot of good offense, a lot of power.
Yeah, Coach, y'all come up short in the Super Regional the last 3 seasons. I guess how does this team, dig deep and break through that seal to get back to the College World Series?
Yeah, and that's something that we've talked a lot about. I feel like we were down to the wire with the eventual national runner-up last season, and it came down to an inch here and there, and we're playing a 3rd game against them. So we've talked a lot about that. It's been a big motivating factor for us in the off-season. I'll be honest, we've had pictures of, that game around the facility all fall to keep us motivated, to make sure there's not a day where we're not trying to earn that little spot back, that pitch back, that play back, making sure that doesn't happen to us again. I think, like I said, they've been battle tested. They've been in all the different spots. So I think they're ready for whatever comes their way this year.
Well, doubling off of that, Coach, the way that the Super Regional had happened, that was the first real crowd they played against all season. How do you think a full season with an atmosphere around them really will benefit this year?
Well, there's nothing like Tiger Park. There's no place like it in the whole country. So I think anytime we can get our Tiger fans out there, we are going to have a shot at winning ball games, because they're the best of the best at really making it the toughest place for opponents to play.
Right, and going back to the pitching staff, I know you won't tell us who's pitching, but how much of a benefit is it to have Allie and Shelby and Wickersham coming all back just to help boost this staff for you?
Definitely. We're an odd mix. I feel like we're like young and old at the same time. We have, Taylor Pleasance and Sierra Briggs and those guys that still have 3 years left to play, but they've also been here for 2.5 years, so it's an interesting mix. So it's nice to have a veteran feel on the mound when we still do have some youth in other spots around the field. But, I think those guys, when we watch Shelby right now, we all feel the same. Like, she just looks like she's grown, she's just grown up out there leading us. She's our only 5th-year player. And it just feels different when you see her, just that experience, that calm about her. I think we all look to that and lean to that and really trust in what she's going to do.
Yeah, I guess if you could how have you utilized that extra year? Do you feel like it's now a benefit where, I know before you were talking about how are you going to manage the numbers, right? Do you feel like it's, in hindsight, what is your approach towards it?
It surely has its challenges. There's no doubt about it. The roster size, and we have so many good players. It's, just the playing time and roster size and scholarship numbers, and trying to manage all of that is surely challenging. But having an extra year, I look at the spot that, if we take Shelby as an example, I look at the spot she's in, and I'm so thankful we have extra time with her every single day. She's looking just incredible in everything she's doing, and I'm so thankful for this 5th year. I feel that way about some of the others, and I know as they get to the end of their career, I'm going to be even more thankful. It's not just also about their softball. It's like you're just thankful to get to hang out with them for an extra year, a bonus year, There's a few we're trying to move on, but no, I'm just kidding. But for the most part, no, we're very thankful to get to have the extra time with them, and, it's fun. We love these guys like their own kids, so it's fun having the extra year.
You said there's no replacing Aaliyah Andrews, but how does it feel that, for the better part of the last decade, you've had an Andrews, and now there's not one that you're waiting for a coming or that's returning? So how do you feel that kind of an Andrew gap?
Yeah, there's days where I think about her, a cold day like this, I think about how miserable she would have been, right? She and I were the two coldest people on the field always, I feel like. But it has been really fun having them a part of it, and they're still a part of it. She's still in town. She still shows up at practice. She's cheering us on, pulling for us, there's no doubt. But like I said, we're never going to replace her, and we don't want to. But we have an incredible center fielder. She is very different in how she plays the game, but really great in her own right. And while it might look different, I think there's things she's going to do better that you're going to enjoy. And like I said, she's going to do it her own way, and it's going to be totally awesome how she does it.
Amanda Doyle really seemed to be the heartbeat of your guys' team last year. Who is going to kind of take on that role this year?
Yeah, it's cool that you said that because Amanda worked so hard to become a vocal leader. She's not very vocal. And the thing about Amanda was that she showed up consistent every single day. I say this about her all the time, but she's so consistent. So we definitely miss that. We do have her on staff, though, as a student coach, which is awesome. So when I said we love spending time with them, of course you want a person like that to stay around your program as long as possible. But, I think Georgia Clark has really stepped up as a leader in the infield for us. I think her voice is heard all the time. She makes great decisions. She helps lead us. She's speaking to us. I think she's confident. So we'll lean on her. We'll lean on Taylor Pleasance, who can control any situation. We'll lean on our catchers to speak. Morgan Cummins has a lot of experience. Kate Callan, Allie Newland, Hayden Brown, they're doing a good job back there leading us too. So we'll lean on all those guys. And we have a little freshman that's not afraid to speak either, which is cool. Sydney Peterson, she's not afraid to tell you where to go or what to do. If you're in the wrong spot, she'll send you where you need to be. If you're not doing it right, she stopped practice the other day when we weren't doing it right. It was awesome. So we got a freshman that's not afraid to use her voice too.
With just about a week, before you get going here, what do you want to try to clean up in that time?
All of it. I think there's still some situations we want to go through. I think, we've seen a lot of good production from our offense, our pitching staff. I think they're doing a good job. Of course, we need to kind of fine tune and being in a plan, attacking in a plan offensively, pitching in a plan on the mound. I think our defense still needs to communicate a little bit better, balls between us, things like that of course you're going to see in the early season. But overall, I just think a little bit of everything. I think, like I said, we've been very, very fortunate that we've been on the field every day of this preseason. So I know that's a huge advantage just walking in the door against a team like Illinois or somebody that maybe hasn't even seen dirt. So I'm very fortunate that we have this beautiful stadium, our incredible grounds crew that's got us out there every day. That's been a real bonus.
Hey, Coach, in the landscape of all the different sports, where does softball fit in as far as the NIL?
I think we have some players with some opportunities. We have some that are doing a good job. I think, we're seeing more and more opportunities all the time. This will be our first actual season under the NIL, so I think, they have some things in front of them. We maybe don't even know the total scope of it yet because we haven't had our season yet where, we're seeing them on TV and we're, we are going to get to talk to 4 of them today, and they're, personable and incredible athletes, and they're going to look great on your cameras, so I think they're going to have a lot of opportunities.
Hey, Coach, I was just trying to get more in depth on how you feel like the culture is being set for like this year's success, as you have many returners, and even like you said earlier, your freshmen who are not willing to back down from others and help them understand the journey.
Yeah, I'm sure you asked Georgia Clark that question for the culture over there. That's her. But I will tell you, from day one of practice, we felt older than we have in the past. I think the last few years, we felt like there were so many young people kind of running around, and we had a big freshman class that got shut down in COVID. We added a big freshman class, so there was a lot of young players. For the first time in a couple of years, I feel like we are very player-led. They call it player-led, not coach-fed. I feel like we're very player-led in a lot of things we do. We don't have to stop practice very often because the other player at their position will tell them where they need to be or what they need to do. So I think they're doing a great job of really representing who we are. We call it Tigers for Life. It's right behind me on the wall, but they're upholding that all the time, and I do think it's truly coming from them at this point. I think, too, I'm going to add to that, but we don't have any transfers on this team, which is interesting in the climate of today, right? And I think some of that is cool that our players have grown up in this program. They've grown up a part of it, so they're understanding what it means to be a part of it. So the culture starts to speak for itself when you grow up within the program.